o'clock at night, usually when I walk in the door, so I've got a very supportive wife. So she don't get to see very much of me through the week. We try to make up on weekends and make sure, you know.
What do you like to do yourself? Are you a sportsman? Do you like to?
Well, I like to hunt, and of course, you know, this job kind of limits on what you can do with that, so it's just, I do like to hunt, I like, working on cars and as a hobby and that kind of thing, and just, anymore, it's just, relaxing, if I can get a time to relax, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. Well, now, you're sort of the CEO of the county, so one other judge put it to me that way.
Yeah, pretty well.
You're, instead of being a judge anymore, judge is the title,
Right.
judge executive, but instead of being a judge on cases, you're more of a diplomat to deal with the problems that come in. You help solve problems. And you tell us about the functions of the government you have. Do you still have magistrates, or do you have county commissioners, or both?
We have magistrates, we have 4, you know, it used to be 8, and then we reduced it down to 4, and that was part of, Judge Bertram's, when he was in office, that was reduced, which makes it easier. I mean, it's, getting everybody's schedules together to, you know, to have meetings, but we have our, you know, standard schedule meetings, but, you know, you still have to have special call, and, there's, you know, something comes through the door and you have to have a decision on pretty quick, so I mean, you have to call the special meeting, so it makes it easier getting everybody together that way, so and then we've been fortunate, I've got a good court, when I come in, and we work together real well, and of course, we've not all agreed on everything, which that's the way it should be. And we've always been able to, you know, talk and work it out, and whatever's gonna be best for Pendleton County, that's what we do with it, so.
Now, you work with the, Northern Kentucky Area Development District too, right?
Yes.
All of yous are members of that, are they?
Right. I think it was, Campbell, Kenton, Boone, Owen, Gallatin, Carroll, Grant, and Pendleton County, so.
Well, we've now had on the judge of, Pendleton County, we've had on the judge in Grant County. Now, Grant County judge is not running for reelection, so, there'll be a new, person there in Grant County. We'll have to try to get them on.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we could even have them both come on, before the election, or wait to see who wins and have the winner come on. And then we had Judge Ellis on from down in Owen County.
Good fellow.
He's a funny fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, the guy from Grant County is funny too, though.
Oh, yeah, Steve, yeah. We've always, I mean, when we have to go to we go to conferences to kind of, you know, bring any extra things that's coming down from the state. It's good for us to get information when we go to these conferences, and we've talked, and you know, he is quite funny.
He's a funny fella, and I think he's done a good job. He's tried to do a good job. He had to face a lot of problems when he first went in there.
Yeah, there was a lot he faced when going, you know, I don't know all the specifics on it, because, you know, just kind of stay out of it, and we've talked back and forth on the phone, several times. Of course, you know, I call all the judges in our district, and, you know.
Have some of them been helpful to you?
Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, it's a lot easier to ask a question than try to redevelop something, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that is the truth.
So, we've leaned on them, and they called me, and, you know, we worked together, so.
Well, that's a big plus, and, the young lady's name that's the executive director there, or at the Ed District?
Lisa Cooper.
Lisa Cooper, she's gonna come on with us too.
Oh, good, yeah.
Talk with her, and she's a very dynamic lady.
Oh, yeah.
And a hard worker.
Yes, she is, and she does a great job.
And one thing I loved about talking to her, because we have Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. They get the attention, a lot of attention, and maybe rightfully so. They're big counties with big populations, with a lot of problems, but the rural counties need attention too. And she was very knowledgeable on the rural counties as well as the big counties, and had a good, I've been told she has a good rapport and relationship with all of the
every one of us. Yeah.
Every one of you.
I've called on her several times, and she's helped me through issues just right now. You know.
Well, when I talked with her, I reminded her that many years ago, the first director of that area development district was Gordon Mullins, and a friend of mine for years. And his father was a judge of one of the smaller counties, Grant County. Lester, I think his name was Mullins. And he was, do you remember him, Randy, at all?
Yeah, I remember the name. I don't know that I ever got to meet him.
Well, he was a good man too. And his son, Gordon Mullins, was the first executive director, and then he went on to Frankfurt and worked in Frankfurt with the Legislative Research Commission. And but my brother-in-law, Jackie Robinson, was the first seniors worker with the Area Development District.
Okay.
And you've got a very good lady there right now that's working with the seniors as an ombudsman with the Area Development
Mm-hmm.
District, doing a great job. And but I just wanted to ask you, what are some of the things that you all have in mind for the future of Falmouth and Pendleton County?
You know, when you hear the last, I guess you'd say in the beginning of, well, I'd say mid-year 2017, I mean, you know, doing our business visits, saying, we don't have the population to employ a big factory. We don't. We found that, you know, some of our factories are wanting employees there, like I said before. So, you know, we still have that, and we're still, you know, aggressively searching that. But in the meantime, we've started it's a small business. We've been working with the Northern Kentucky Small Business Association. And through a due grant, we've been able to get one of their representatives down to Pendleton County to where they can meet with individuals in the county and or the city or anywhere that have the desire to open a small business. So this individual comes down and then she works with them and tries to get a whole business plan put together for them, helps them try to get, you know, where to go and get business loans, small business loans, and helps them create their business. So that's been real beneficial. I think we've had several. She comes down once a month and meets with them. It's a whole morning of, I think there's usually about 5 or 6 different individuals that come and meet with her. I mean, so we think that's going to be a way that we can bring up business in Pendleton County, starting with the small businesses, instead of a real large one. Even though we're still actively seeking that, we've got some new ground that we're looking at and going to be working with the state economic cabinet as far as marketing the land for, you know, larger industrials sites. So.
That's beautiful. You've got a plan. You're working toward it. Randy, what about the churches in Pendleton County and Falmouth?
They've always been blessings. You know, from the old Butler hymn sayings, you know, getting to meet a lot of the preachers back then around in the area, they're always a blessing. And so many preachers in so many different areas too. Kincaid Theatre.
Oh yeah.
Brother Kurt Combs served us as music in between. I went to school with Kurt and Judy, and our people went down to the theater from our church, our Joy group, just older youth, seniors group, and they loved it. They said it was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a real jewel. I call it a jewel. It's in our county, that the Kincaid Theatre. They've had to move from where they was existing, putting the plays on, and they're actively, they bought a place and hopefully they'll be able to transform that into where they can start putting plays in it. But it has been great. They do an awesome job on the limited budget they are, and they bring people from Ohio and all the way. I think there might have been some that from out of Tennessee and West Virginia, that like and come and see the play. So I have to commend them. They do a real good job.
They do a good job.
Yes.
Well, you know something. Now, that's Jesus knocking on your door. And you know, in all seriousness, when you hear that knock, you need to answer it. Give it some attention. And you got another wonderful family right there in Falmouth, in that territory, that I've listened to for years and years, the Gaither family.
Mm-hmm.
And
You mean the Gabbards?
the Gabbard family.
Okay.
And the Gabbard family there, and they have done a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to them on, well, listen to the Gaithers and them
Okay.
on the WIOK radio. Almost every morning they come on, and I can tell you, I always knew when it was Friday because Charlotte would come on. And Charlotte was one of those that she'd knock on the door and say, like Willie Geiman, there's a chair here waiting for you at every church.
Mm-hmm.
Now just look at it, it's an empty chair. And if you think you're gonna come there and because those people down there, if you think you're gonna come there and it's gonna be a perfect church, well, when you get there, it won't be perfect because there is no perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
but there's a chair waiting for you in a lot of these churches, and that's one of the things we should fill. And I know that the judge and Randy both would encourage people to not only come to Randy's church, but to all of these churches, church of your choice, and invite Jesus into your heart, because the real title of our show is, Are You Ready? Are you ready for the Lord? And that's one thing you want to be ready for. And I know the Gabbard family there at their tabernacle, which is right at almost to the beginning of going into Pendleton County.
Close to the county line, yeah.
And they do a lot of ministries. They just opened another little ministry right there up on the Geiman Connector Road, which I helped to get that named after on Pools Creek there when I was Deputy Secretary of Transportation for Kentucky. The Geiman Connector, it's called. They took over that little church right there, Randy, and they have a great service on the radio. In fact, every morning when I get up 8 o'clock, June will tell you, she makes sure the radio's on. Adrian Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best, other than Randy, best Bible teacher I've ever met in my life. And he's gone on to heaven, but his word still goes on. David Jeremiah, who was just over in Cincinnati at the Coliseum, and Gil Hammond was over there visiting him. And they are on that show at 8:30 or something right there, close to that. And then Michael Youssef, and then you get Gil Hammond, you get Billy Graham's daughter, Ann Graham Lott, on Sunday mornings that she's on. Randy's on several of these radio stations, aren't you, Randy? Which one are you on right now?
CDX, WCDX, out of Cincinnati. It used to be WTSJ.
And are you on there any particular time?
Sunday mornings at 10:30.
Sunday mornings at 10:30. And if you really want to get in your car and want an experience of a lifetime, drive out to Oak Ridge Baptist on Taylor Mill. And I'm sure any church, Randy's church or any church, would welcome you and open the door for you. And when you hear that knock on your door, I've been visiting over at a little church called Bethesda Community Church on 536. Tim Frymuth, I think is the pastor's name there, and Mr. Fightmaster, assistant pastor. And they just built a new little church there that I happened to walk in by accident. I didn't know that they were gonna have, that was their grand opening ceremony of the little new church. It was happening right there in front of me. And so there's plenty of churches out there to go to, and to a lot of good Catholic churches for anybody who's Catholic to go to. June was born and raised Catholic. So we want you to go to church. That's one we encourage you to. That's good government. That's why the judge is doing what he's doing, running good government, because he thinks, believes, has faith that he can do a better job for the citizens. Am I right?
That's exactly right. Yep.
And Randy is a minister for 37 years because God called him to be a minister. And I'm thankful he did, because he's been helpful to me and my brother Gerald Stephenson, who was a deacon at the church for many years, wasn't he, Randy? And has sang probably 1,000 songs in the church.
Sang another one Monday night.
Sang another one Monday
I heard.
You see, so, you know, in life, Judge, if I was looking at you right now and asking you this question, what would you tell the citizens out there in northern Kentucky that the most important thing that they could do is?
The most important thing is, like you've been saying, most important is make sure you're right with the Lord, and then after that, you just kind of live your life the best you can, and be good to others.
Be good to others. Love. Jesus, what did Billy Graham say? I never had, when I gave my life to the Lord at a Billy Graham crusade in 1956. And one of the things he said was, it's the Holy Spirit's job to convict. It's God's job to judge. But it's my job to love. And that's what this show is all about. It's to love and to share love. And the greatest gift God gave us is the gift of life and love. Is that right, Randy? And Judge, is there anything we haven't covered in Pendleton County that you want to speak to?
Well, for the most part, I think we got everything good. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and speak with you. It's good. I've looked forward to it. It's just our first one kind of went on the wayside. It's just one of those things that came in and,
You gotta move, I know.
So,
Now, what about the Wool Festival? That's a big event in
Yes, it
Pendleton
is.
County.
I mean,
Tell us about that a little bit, and how people can get involved or when they can come to see that.
well, it's the first full weekend in October, and I think this year it's the 5th, 6th, and 7th, I think is what the dates were. But it's just an awesome event. I mean, I can't remember what their totals were, but I mean, there's thousands of people that come there through the week and weekend of that. And it's not real costly to get in. You walk around and there's all kinds of great music. There's bluegrass music, there's gospel, bluegrass music. I mean, just numerous things. I mean, of course, you can eat your heart's desire.
I have missed many meals, as you can tell, Jack.
But to tell you how popular, even from the vendors, and I have friends, Mary and Chi, they ran a Chinese restaurant for years in Covington.
Yeah.
They finally retired, and I ran into them at the Kenton County Fair, and I said, well, this is great to get your food again. Their food was always great. They said, yes, we only worked 2 things the whole year. One was the Kenton County Fair, and the other one was the Wool Festival.
Well,
I said, well,
yeah.
I plan on being at both this year. But they really were speaking highly of it.
Well, yeah, we're proud of it, and it's a big event. I mean,
It is a big
it
event.
It is. It's very much so. Proud of what they've done with it, and hope it continues on. Yeah.
Now, since you're judge of Pendleton County, and this show goes throughout all of northern Kentucky to all the counties, what would you like to say to the folks, not only here, but maybe some folks that might see us on YouTube and other areas and on Facebook? They go under Dr. John Stephenson or Travels with the Stephensons. We used to have a whole lot of our shows on this channel, but they've limited us now to this one show that we're doing live, so to speak, because this show will show at 4 o'clock this evening and again repeat itself at 10 o'clock. So we're gonna start doing this regularly. And but other people might see this around the country. What would you say to them? What would you like to say to them about coming to Pendleton County, either to live or to worship or to go to school? You got good schools there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we gotta say something about the schools
Oh,
there
yeah,
too.
they've done a good job, and of course, right now, it's tough on every school district with the cuts that some of them had, and it's an increase, but they do a good job with what they have. I mean, it's just like the county government. We just have to watch every little thing every day and make
Use
the best
the money
decisions.
wisely.
It's it, make the best decisions you can with what the knowledge you can get. But I encourage anyone to come and see us. I mean, if you want more information, you can email me if you'd like, or
And what's that email?
it's pendletoncountyjudgeexec@gmail.com. And, and the office number there is 859-654-4321. We can call and get you connected to whomever or whatever you'd like to be connected with, so.
Now, who's your staff? Give us the name of your staff people there that.
The county treasurer is Vicky King. She's been there, I can't remember how many years right now, but she worked with Judge Bertram. And came in on him. I have Mary Ann Roseberry, she's my administrative assistant. And then I have Jenny Sleater, that is, she's our tax administrator. And she takes a lot of care of the payroll and just numerous things, which, my staff is just really unbelievable, because they take on so many jobs, and of course, that's what you do on a smaller county like we are. Everybody's got to take on 10 jobs to get it done because of, the funding. So they do an awesome job. So
You got 4 magistrates, what's their names?
4 magistrates, in the 1st district, we have Alan Welly. 2nd would be Gary Veers, and this is gonna be his last term. He's done 16 years with the court, so I'm really proud of what he's done. And in the 3rd district, we have Bob Fogel, and in the 4th district, we have Rick Manier. So they've all done good and been great to work with. So I figure we made some good improvements in the county and made a lot of things. And I might add something too. This is something that, we're really proud of down there. If we have a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Because of our location, we don't have a hospital, okay? So we rely on the ambulance service to get us, our citizens to here and there. So we got into agreement with the AirEvac, that is air care. So we've got that in any Pendleton County that needs to be AirEvac. can do that for free. Well, some's free. If they have insurance, they'll collect the insurance and then, but other than that, they don't.
They have that opportunity.
They have that opportunity. And, and then here just a few months ago, we got into an agreement with Harrison Memorial about putting an urgent care clinic in the county, right there in Falmouth. So we're hoping to get that up and going to kind of take a little relief off of the ambulance service. So those are some really good improvements. Because of our location, that's I'm real proud of what we've been able to accomplish with that.
Fantastic. Well, now, look in the camera there, and I want you to tell people that you're running for re-election, right?
Yes, I am.
And would you like to ask them something?
Well, I am running for election. I have enjoyed the last 4 years. I've enjoyed serving the citizens of Pendleton County, and I think we've still got things to do, and I think we've made great improvements in the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm hoping that they'll give me enough opportunity to continue what I'm doing. So
Fantastic. Well, I agree with all of that, frankly. And Randy, you have anything you'd like to add at all?
It's been fantastic to get to be a part of it today.
yeah,
Nice to be a part of it. Well, Randy, I'm gonna ask you, if you mind playing us out with a little something?
Be glad.
I'm gonna ask Randy if he wouldn't mind doing that. While he's doing that, I'm gonna say one thing to the judge. Randy, you get ready a song, because I'm just gonna say this. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. I'm glad, Judge Fields, you are our friend. And we wish you luck.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much.
Great county, great city, Falmouth and Pendleton County, and of course my favorite radio station, WIOK 107.5 FM on the radio dial with Gil and Jan Hammond, Tri-State Gospel. They're gonna have a big announcement for you in a couple of weeks here about what they've done with their home in Lakeside Park.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
It's over.
There you go.